Yo, what up, what up, what up, and welcome back to Pnoid News. Man, listen, so, all right. So, the things that I really, really hate in this world, right? One of which is attributing shit to people, who didn't do them, right? On both sides of the thing, right? Like, I hate the fact that the British stand here and try to claim that they did some shit they didn't do. And I also hate, standing here saying, I don't know, like fucking Mao Zedong's responsible for the 20 million people who, died in World War II, right? Like, listen, it wasn't communism's fault that like all those fucking people died. It's a Japanese invasion, right? But like these numbers get attributed to other things, right? In the end of the day, so what I want to stand here today and look at is this dude, Large Man Abroad, right? His video, World Nightmare, American Small Town Destroyed by Layoffs. Right, we're gonna get into this, and then we're gonna have a conversation. We're gonna look at it, and then I'm gonna chime in as we go through. All right, let's get it.
Welcome back to Large Man Abroad. Let's have a talk. The tariffs are having a sweeping effect all over the country, and typically we've been focusing on kind of the larger corporations and the effects that they're having nationally when it comes to global trade. But what we don't talk about is the impact that it's having on small town America, to average people, normal people, whether they voted Democrat or whether they voted Republican. But what we're seeing is that for small town America, it's being hit the hardest right now. And the silent sacrifice that they're making is being largely ignored by the mainstream media. So here we go.
I got to pay bills. I got to pay child support. I got to go to court next week. What I'm supposed to do?
Today we let the employees know at our Emporia, Virginia plywood mill that we are ceasing operations as of today. I've worked here 3.5 years. It's very unsettling. It's very unsettling.
All right, so look here, Emporia, right? Virginia. You know what I'm saying? Like legitimately, right? Let's look. Let me show you where this place is. Exactly. Like what we're talking about. Like, listen, so like this place, as a whole, is located in Emporia, Virginia, right, which is down 95, right, south of. I've actually been to this plant before. And like I actually know like a little bit about this. You know what I'm saying? So this Imperial plant, is closing because of the fact that during COVID, right, the cost of lumber went to a ridiculous high, right, like an unbelievable high. We had like a massive lumber shortage, right, and in having a massive lumber shortage, the cost of lumber went through the goddamn roof. And so, therefore, the plant got accustomed, to like in Georgia Pacific as a whole, got accustomed to being able to have lumber, prices at a certain level. And now that they're not at that level, they're no longer able to maintain, viability as a mill. Now, this is, something that happens at these type of places as a whole. How do I put this? Georgia Pacific moves around a lot. It's like, a lot, like all the time, right? I actually visit 3 Georgia Pacific plants, you know what I'm saying, like on a regular basis. They move between Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, Reading, Bethlehem, Allentown, right? And they open up a place, they close the place, they open a place, they close the place, they open a place, they close the place, right? And they move around like just all the fucking time, right? And this is what companies do. Just as a whole. Okay. This is not new, and this is not because of the tariffs. Tariffs actually cut us off from Canadian lumber, which would be great for these fucking people. But because of the fact that, home prices are going down because, we're throwing immigrants the fuck out. These builders don't want to build homes that they're not going to make, a ridiculous amount of fucking profit off of. And banks don't want to loan out money if they're not going to make a massive amount of, money. And on top of that, the Fed raised interest rates to, 5 or 7%, whatever the case is. So your average mortgage average mortgage interest payment or interest rate is 9% now. Back in the day, it was like 2 or 3%. And probably like 3 or 4 years ago before we started raising rates after COVID. This is, the end result of the rate raise from the Fed. This has absolutely nothing to do with it. But this guy here has been this big fucking weirdo from fucking Europe, or from in this channel, Large Man Abroad. This big oaf think that it's Donald Trump's fault because he has fucking Trump derangement syndrome at this. You know what I mean? He doesn't really understand like how any of these things actually fucking work, because you know, I mean, he's a fucking office worker. Like he works from home remotely. He's never actually fucking worked for a fucking living. He's never seen logistics chains. He has no idea what the fuck he's talking about in any way. And it annoys me that like he's going, well, this is because of the tariffs. It's not. This is the end result of rate increases on fucking homes, right? And the end result of us like shipping immigrants the fuck out who literally like, they get these things called ITIN loans, individual tax identification number loans. They're about 30% of the U.S. mortgage market, right? And these loans as a whole, like what they do is they bring in like fucking 80 immigrants. They all live in one fucking house. They all work and they fucking, one of them will fucking start paying taxes. And, you know, I mean, they'll get a fucking credit rating. They'll get basically a social security number as it is. That's what an individual tax identification number is. It allows them to get credit. They take out a loan for a mortgage for a house. They all work together to pay the fucking thing off. And then they move to the next place, right? And they don't give a fuck if the house is $500,000. By the way, it's one of the reasons that your housing is so goddamn expensive right now. But we don't want to have these fucking conversations. Because you know what? If Americans did this and you had like fucking 30 people in the goddamn room, social services would come in and shut that motherfucker down immediately. Because heaven forbid, like an American has like, you know, 2 children and they're different sexes and they sleep in the same room. That's like a fucking, oh my God, they'll take your fucking kids from you for that. But they don't say shit to the fucking immigrants when they fucking do it. This is just the reality of how things work. But let's keep going with this stupid video.
Because I have 5 young kids at home. It's very heartfelt because I feel bad for the city of Pnoid. I really do, because it's going to crush it for it.
It's going to cripple this town. You just lost Boy's Head, you lost GP. Ain't going to be nothing left here.
This a loss for me. And then they shut down Boy's Head. I was just about to start at Boy's Head. They shut Boy's Head down. Now they done shut this place down. What jobs do we have in Emporia?
We want to get these people placed in new jobs.
And by the way, Emporia, Virginia, right, as a whole, has like a population. I'll just set it on here. It has a population of fucking like 3,500 people, something like that. Now, this isn't like a big place anyway. You know what I mean? So like, you have to understand that like, yo, this is not something that like, you know what I mean, like the government's doing this on purpose. This is not the end result of tariffs. This is not some crazy shit. Because I'll be real, here, for some fucking dumbass reason, when they tariff fucking steel from overseas, the steel plant is fucking closing. And I'll be honest, I think the reason is because they want them to like give them like a fucking massive, they want to negotiate with the federal government for a massive grant to be able to like keep things open. Or, you know what I mean, to move their plant somewhere else and open up and have new jobs. Like this is something that they've kind of like, this is something that companies do on a regular basis. By the way, this happens with like the green energy shit. So these big ass companies that like process the raw crude, right? The refiners, they have stood here and like played chicken with the government. They said, hey, listen, you know, we're not going to sit here and refine any more fucking crude or update our equipment or like do our fucking jobs because we know you're probably going to try to shut us down in 3 or 4 years. So like what we're going to do is we're going to force you to pay us to do this shit. Right? This is something that, you know what I mean, has been happening like throughout, you know what I mean, like the past, I don't know, like 10 or so years as it is. So understand, you know what I mean, like, oh, these motherfuckers are probably just negotiating for a better fucking position. You know what I mean, they're gonna look for like basically like what were them Jones called where like they just sat there during COVID and like gave everybody money to keep their workers working. Probably like what they're fucking looking for is a goddamn check. Right, to go like, hey, how about we offload some of this cost of doing this to you so we can keep these people employed so this town don't fall to shit. Welcome to corporatism, bro. Well, what we used to say, bro, is socialism for like the motherfucking the upper class and fucking capitalism for the lower class. Like, yo, this is just where it is right now. This is where it is at the moment.
As soon as possible. It's very tough for the Emporia area with the Boar's Head plant. A while back and now Georgia Pacific, but we're committed to trying to find those people jobs in and around that area and work to bring companies into that area to pick up some of that job loss.
As we've said on this channel before, the impacts of these tariffs are going to have reaching effects that go beyond political sides. Normal people are going to feel this no matter who they voted for, and that's what we're seeing now. I'm someone who's from Virginia. Though Northern Virginia is very different from the more rural parts of Virginia, my family has been in Virginia for hundreds of years. And I can tell you right now that rural Virginia is very red. But that doesn't mean that the plight of these individuals is any less sadder. Small towns are usually dependent on the corporations that moved in alongside them. I remember back in the
He's reading the script, bro, it's because that script was sent to him. Right, 100%. Like, this guy just popped up out of fucking nowhere, right? You know what I mean? Now he has like 41,000 subscribers, right? And like, he's getting recommended all over the place. That's because he's a Democratic operative, right? He's probably working for like, you know, I mean, he's getting a check from like, I don't know, China plus the Democrats. You know, tends to be how the fuck it works. Listen, propaganda fucking, you know what I mean, is what it is. You know, motherfuckers over here like banging for hearts and minds. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if we can compete in this fucking space, all right? I just wanted to bring this to y'all's attention. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, listen, when you see things like this, don't always, you know what I'm saying, pay attention. Come and ask fucking questions to guys like me who actually know what the fuck's going on inside the industry, what's going on in logistics chains, what's going on with, like, you know what I mean, the actual economy itself. This dude, you know what I mean, has no idea what the fuck is going on. He's just, you know what I mean, an operative out here trying to fucking promote, you know what I mean, anti-Donald Trump shit and trying to fucking stand here and destroy, like, us even more than what the fuck he is. Because they want to continue the system for what it is. He's an office worker. And, you know what I mean, here soon he's going to move the fuck back to goddamn Europe. He's not going to stay in America anymore. You know what I mean? And you can watch the rest of his videos and he'll fucking stand here and say that shit himself. Look, Tom Piece of Pnoid News. Y'all know the deal. Like, share, and subscribe. I'm up out of here.